Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about nervousness in esports. This is something that will either make or break you, so I would recommend you keep watching, keep listening, and there's some things in here that's really going to help you a lot. If you're getting nervous or you're feeling like you've just upgraded, you're playing in a better team, or you've upgraded your rank and you're playing with better players, some of these things are going to really help you because nerves can really kill you, man. If you can avoid getting nervous or at least channel that energy in the right places, you can do big things. You can do really big things, and this is what a lot of the top players do, and this is how they get there. The first thing is just to understand it. So nervousness is when you're focused on an outcome and you're needy for that outcome. So we're going to talk about this later in the video, but you're thinking about the outcome too much. You're thinking about you're thinking about individual things and what's going to happen afterwards. Just break down the game slowly. So think about it slow. We have a round, pistol round. What are we doing pistol round? Just once you get into the game, just chill. It's you have to understand it first. So why are you feeling this way? Think about it. Why are you feeling this way? Maybe it's a big game to qualify for, a LAN, a local LAN, or even a big international LAN, and understand why you're feeling this way. And we'll talk about it later, but experience is going to really help this. So a lot of it just comes from reps and just doing it a lot. But you notice a lot of these players, I've talked about Donk before, but he comes up and he's been playing online the whole time, and he's been dominating online, and everyone expects him to not do too well or do really well in this big LAN, tier 1 LAN, and he comes out and just plays just really chill and just gets, I think he got MVP as well, and just destroyed everyone. Tier 1 LAN. For him, because he's played so much, he has so much confidence in himself, and that comes back to volume, which we've talked about. He just knows what to do. Like, he has so much confidence in himself. I don't think he's worried about MVP. He's just playing. He knows what to do. He understands the game like the back of his hand, and that's how he does it. So just have to understand why you're feeling that way and channel that energy like he did into doing really, really well in tournaments. So one thing people need to think about is the preparation, the practice. So a lot of the time people get nervous because they're unsure about the outcome because they're not confident in themselves. So they think they haven't done enough, they haven't put in enough work, the team hasn't practiced for long enough. So you need to make sure you're playing long enough. You need to make sure that whenever you have a tournament coming up, play properly, do everything you can. If you're really pushing to rank up, trying to get to that level 10, if you're level 6 or something, make sure you're really pushing hard. Make sure you develop a routine. I have another video on this, and it's just explaining what the best routine is to do. Just check it out, it's a few videos ago. And make sure you're doing that routine, because creating this consistency before a game is really important. So say you're in a team, make sure you guys chat for 30 minutes before, and make it really consistent. You guys have a laugh, you hop in aimbots, you're doing your circles, which I explained before, you're doing your backward strafing, your flicks, you're doing consistent things. So you're doing consistency around the unknown, and you just focus on what you can control, and these are things you can really control, so focus on doing those things. So I briefly said it before, but don't be outcome dependent. Don't feel that something has to go well in the game, something has to, you have to treat all games the same. And that's what makes these really good players so good, because they're versing all these players who've never played on stage, and they're crapping themselves. You see this in all sports, you see this in tennis. What happens is they're focusing too much on the outcome and what's about to happen. So if they win, oh my god, I'm going to get into this tournament, or I'm going to get into this qualifier, I'm going to make all this money, I'm going to make the major, whatever, it's going to be insane. Whereas the other guys made the major like 10 times, he doesn't care. So he just chills, he just goes bang, 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 just kills everyone. And then this guy's shooting himself, shaking, spraying like this. Like, the guy who's chill and isn't thinking about the outcome, he doesn't really mind, to be honest. He just is enjoying the sport. He's just playing. He's always going to do better. So do not be outcome dependent, and focus on just round by round play. Take aim in. Get your guy to flash you in. Take here. Just do your protocols. Focus on your defaults. Don't think about winning the tournament or something like that. Just focus on round by round, and your mental health will be way better for this, because it can hurt when you're really outcome dependent and you think you're going to win everything, you think you're going to smash everyone, you think you're just going to wipe. It's not going to help you, it's just going to hinder you so much. So just don't think about the outcome, just think about the process and what you can do during the game and what you can keep consistent like a practice routine. One thing is just breathing and just relaxing a little bit. So just deep breaths through the nose. Really get the breath down your chest, like get it down into your kind of lower stomach. Really feel it through all your body. That kind of thing will help you a lot, especially if you're in a real big game, say you're on stage and whatever. Just really deep breaths. Just like that. For me, that's fine. I know a lot of people do techniques like box breathing and that kind of thing, and meditation. For me, that just helps me. Just a few of them, and that kind of gets you into the zone that you need to be in. One thing is building confidence, so actually being really good in the game. So because you've put so much time to the game, for example, Donk doing 15 hours a day, he's so confident that when he goes into a tier 1 lane, he's like, okay, I'm fine, bro. Like, I've done this. I play 15 hours a day. Like, none of these guys have. I'm chilling. Like, you know, it's completely fine for him. He knows he's good. He knows what he's done before. He looks at his stats page maybe and sees like 1.5. He's like, oh, I'm better than everyone. Like, maybe he doesn't think like that. Maybe he doesn't have a big head like that. He seems like a really nice guy. But just actually be really good and actually put a lot of hours in. Because I found I only really get really nervous is when I'm unsure or I think I should have put in more effort. So never have that regret. Never feel that regret. I make sure for me that I never feel that regret. You put everything you can into it beforehand, and not many people do this. Not many people put everything they can into it before a tournament or to make, you know, a high level that they want to get to, and then they feel nervous because they know that all the other people that they're versing are doing that, or in their head they think, yeah, they're all doing it and I haven't done it, and then they get messed up mental health in the game, and then they get screwed and they start yelling, and then it's a big spiral. So don't do that. Just become really good and aim well and shoot well. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, just chuck me a message on Twitter and I'll answer you real quick. Happy to help. Yeah, so it kind of comes back to what we talked about before, but just don't be needy for winning. Neediness repels things, you know, in kind of anything in life. When you need something, it kind of never really happens, I've found. So if you're just chilling, you're like, well, I'm just going to play this game. I've put in all the work. I've done everything I can. You know, the outcome is the outcome. I'm just going to do everything I can, and the outcome will happen. So if you put in everything you can, truly put in everything you can, every minute that you've been able to put into this game in preparation, then, you know, that's all you can really do. And just view challenges as opportunities. So even if you do lose a big game for a qualifier, like I've lost countless amounts of qualifiers for huge events, and then I've also won a bunch of them as well. And from all this, I've learned so much. And I know everyone says, oh, learn from your losses or whatever, but, you know, there's always more games, there's always more tournaments, there's always more face plugs that you can play that maybe you just miss out on level 10 or something like that. There's always more, so just relax. Another thing is to remember is it's just a game. You're not actually getting shot IRL. And I said this to my teammates today, you know, you're not getting shot IRL. Like, it's not, you're not actually getting shot. And I know it sounds kind of stupid, but sometimes your brain convinces you that this is life or death, and it's in these really big games that you must win. And then you just, instead of in practice where you're pushing, you know, you're pushing cave, you're running like this, you're instead just sitting back here, just jiggling. Like, you just have to play the same. Like, that's the fun of it, is just testing yourself and seeing how you can play and not changing depending on the type of game, if it's practice or it's, you know, the major final. Like, you look at a player to watch is Rain, and he is amazing because he just stays the same. Like, no matter what, he's like so consistent. You see him in major finals, he'll just run. I remember in the major final, he just ran across outside at Nuke and just killed 3 people. He didn't give a shit. Like, he doesn't care. He's been there however many times, and he just has a great mindset. That's why FaZe is so insane, just coming back. Like, if you watch any professional sports, FaZe is one of the top teams in CS, and they've come back from the most insane, crazy comebacks. So you need to just be constant and solid and a pillar of your team, no matter the situation. Another thing, I'll say it quickly because I need to make a proper video on it, but your physical health. You have to get in the gym, you have to go for runs, you have to eat well, and you have to sleep well. And I'll make a more in-depth video, but this stuff for me, like, completely changed everything. Like, you know, I have some stories of just completely playing crap, and then I started running in the morning, and it just completely changed everything. And I'll go more in depth in a future video, but it's crazy for me, like, just getting up and going for a walk every morning made me go from like 60% brain capacity to 100%, or 95%. Maybe have a bit of growth, but just so switched on, and I can just focus for long hours. And it's amazing what a bit of exercise can do. In the morning, get up, get some sunlight, go for a walk. Really important. So those are a few things you can focus on to do with nerves. Look, if you're still feeling some nerves, it always happens. It's, you know, as long as you've got it down to the point where you're not shaking like this, you know, you're always gonna have a little bit of nerves. So make sure you channel that into the game, and tell your brain that that's where you're supposed to be. When a tiger is in front of you, your nerves go up because you're in that fight or flight mode, and you need to tell yourself that that's actually not a bad place to go. Not overly over the top where you're shaking, but in a place where, you know, your senses are heightened, you're focused, you're zoned in, you can only see the screen, you're not focused on anything outside of it, you're in the game. It's almost like you're one with the character. You know, you have high FPS, you have a good computer. That's the kind of spot you want to be. You know, you want to lessen your nerves down so you're still feeling a little bit, and you're channeling it into the game. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, just chuck me a message on Twitter. I said it before, I'll say it again. Just chuck me a message. I'll help you out. Chuck a comment. I'll respond to it. And I'll catch you in the next one.